Hey everybody, I'm Chris Hammack. Welcome to the International Woodcarver Show. I'm going to talk to you today about the 2023 Carvin the Rockies show. Gotta be there.
All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the International Association of Woodcarvers. Today is Saturday, July the 29th, a little bit after 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as we were just talking about before we came into the meeting, we appreciate everybody taking time out of this hot Saturday, and most of the United States is hot. Hopefully, everybody that's on here is staying cool, and it's a good day to be in your shop carving instead of being outside digging ditches like I've been all morning. But I want to say thank you again for taking time out to come in and join us today. We've got a special meeting today. It's going to be a great meeting and one we kind of look forward to. So we're going to have Chris Hammack on here in a few minutes. He's going to share some information with us about the upcoming CCA Carving the Rockies show that's coming up September 23rd and 24th. But before we have Chris on, I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the things that we have going on. Today, we're going to be doing a knife auction like we sometimes do to raise money to continue to have these meetings. All the proceeds that we get from auctions go to continue the Zoom subscription that we use to have meetings on Saturdays to make sure we have enough space for everybody to come in and join that wants to. So today we're auctioning off an autographed Chris Hammack Helvey. I think it's about a 2 1/4 inch signature series knife. Chris was gracious enough to sign this for us. Helvey has donated the knife. Again, it has his little Helvey logo on one side, CCA, Chris Hammack here, and the signatures on the other side, and it's numbered on the bottom. So we're going to be doing an auction in the chat like we normally do. If you're interested in winning this knife, the high bidder will win. We'll call the bid at the end of the meeting, and just go ahead and start putting your bids in the chat now. And like I said, I'll call it there at the end. Some of the things that we have coming up, we're still in our summer series, even though this is our second meeting in July. We're going to have one meeting in August. Again, Rich Smithson from Helvey Knives is going to be coming in on August the 26th, and he's going to be making knives live on our meeting. So we've had him in. We've had him talking about knives and stuff. Rich, probably one of the best knife makers in the United States. He's going to come in and make knives, and the knives that he makes on the meeting, we're also going to be auctioning off. There's going to be 3 of them in a series, and all 3 of them are going to be available for auction that day. So it'll be a cool meeting and cool opportunity to watch Rich work. So make sure you join us on that day. On September the 2nd, Brian Doty's going to be coming in. He's going to be doing a presentation for us. We have 2 dates open in September so far, the 9th and the 16th. I'm looking for presenters for those 2 days. So if anybody on the meeting is interested, reach out to me and let me know. Dave and I will both be out at the CCA show, the one that we're talking about today, on the 23rd of September. We're going to be broadcasting live from the meeting. Now, that doesn't mean you can't come to the show. You need to come to the show if you can. But if you don't make it out there, you can tune in live 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be broadcasting live from the show and talk all about what's going on out there. So join us on the 23rd. On September the 30th, Rich Embling's going to be coming in and doing a presentation. October the 7th, Tom Wilkinson's coming in. And then October the 14th, again, I'll be broadcasting live from the Sevierville show down in Pigeon Forge, Sevierville area in Tennessee. Again, that's on October the 14th. So that's some of the things that we have coming up. Let you know a little bit about the workshops that are happening or coming up soon. Janet Cordell is going to have one on August the 7th. That's going to be Carving the American Cowboy. If you're interested in that, contact Janet, get signed up for it. Bob Hershey's going to have one on August the 19th on Carving Fabulous Phoebe. It's a frog that's been swimming, which I think is probably where Bob Hershey is today. But if you're interested in taking that class, contact Bob, get signed up. Again, it's August the 19th. On September the 2nd, Dave Stetson, who's on with us today, is going to be doing a class on wood carving an angel. So if you're interested in that, I think Dave has a rough out. Contact Dave, get signed up. find out the materials you'll need and try to get signed up for that. And then I saw today a new class that's out there on Wood Carving Academy. September the 30th, Dale Green, who's also on with us today, will be doing a class on carving witch hazel, trying to get ready, I guess, for the Halloween season. So if you're interested in that class, contact Dale Green, get signed up. You can see all of these workshops advertised out on Wood Carving Academy. Again, if you want to learn at your own pace, make sure you go out, check out Wood Carving Academy. You can subscribe there 1 month, 3 month, or a year. There's some great information out there, so make sure you're taking advantage of that. Like I said earlier, today we've got on Chris Hammack. Chris is coming to us from Mexico. I went down and saw Chris in January, took a class down there, and it was amazing. He's going to be talking to us about the upcoming CCA Carvin the Rockies show happening in Colorado Springs on September 23rd and 24th. So Chris, I appreciate you coming in with us today. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. I think you've got a slideshow and stuff you're going to show. So Chris and I are going to have a little bit of a conversation as this is going on to make sure that we hit the high points. If anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute and ask them. Now would be a good time to get that information as we go through this. So Chris, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you at this point. Can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about the location and what's coming up with the show?
Hey, first, thank you, Blake and Dave, for all y'all do and for having me on here to talk about the show. We really appreciate your support and what you do for the wood carvers. It's a great asset. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Carving the Rockies show. We had our first annual last year. Happens in, I know y'all probably heard all about it, but for anybody that hadn't, it happens in September, the third weekend of September. And this year we're having the second annual Carving the Rockies show. So I thought what I would do, I put together a slideshow kind of recapping last year's show. And I thought I would just run through that. And Blake, we can talk about it as we go if you'd like to.
Sure.
Okay, let me start this off. Okay, we started out, this was our big first annual show. Is really exciting. We didn't know exactly what to expect, didn't know if anybody was going to come or not, but it was great, turned out great. Attendance was great. Happens in Colorado, through 357 miles from this geographic center of the United States in Colorado Springs. So it's pretty central. I know if you live way on the East Coast or West Coast, it may not be central to you, but it's pretty centrally located in the United States. And one of my favorite spots, Colorado Springs is it's a beautiful little town. I mean, it's set right at the bottom of Pikes Peak in the mountains. It's got a urban part to it. And then as you go towards the mountains, it has a more historic part. That's kind of where our show is. It's right in, I know I sound like a tour guide here for a little bit, but I love this part of the country. It's beautiful. Pikes Peak, Red Rocks, Royal Gorge here is kind of it's just south of Colorado Springs, like a mini Grand Canyon. It's just a really beautiful part of the country. A lot of tourism there and lots of stuff to do when you're at the show for spouses or to do after the show, or if you want to plan a vacation around it before or after. Jeep trips, they have guided Jeep trips, which are fantastic. I've been on several over the years through Red Rocks, through up to Pikes Peak. They're real fun. You can cross the Royal Gorge if you'd like to in one of these seats. They have the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame is there, which is really cool. Pikes Peak Railroad. They used to have the old incline cog railroad. Now they've updated it to this. I haven't been on this one, but it will take you all the way up to the very top of Pikes Peak. It's beautiful. I love the area. Cripple Creek is a little old gold mining town right up the road, up in the mountains from the springs. and it's become a gambling. They have legalized gambling there, and it's just a real vacation spot. It has grown quite tremendously over the last probably 15 years. So that's a little bit about kind of urban Colorado Springs, and then you go to the historical part of Colorado Springs. It's called Old Colorado City, and our show is located right on the edge of Old Colorado City and Manitou Springs. All of this is all together, kind of just runs from one to the other. But this is the Old Colorado City is kind of the historic old part of Colorado Springs. There's 3 or 4 main blocks with every kind of little restaurant, shops, coffee houses, handmade items, stores. It's a really neat area. Our show's right on the edge of this. One thing I wanted to talk about and kind of highlight here for just a few minutes. There's a Michael Garman, was a sculptor, started out in the 50s, and he has a museum there, which is really cool. Now, he was not a wood carver. I met him once years ago, didn't know him very well at all, but he was a wonderful sculptor, a kind of inner city, urban life, probably set in about the 50s or something like that. So he's got these vignettes. Well, he's got an entire city made. You went and saw it, Blake, didn't you, while you were there?
Yeah, we took probably half a day and walked through that. Well, it probably wasn't that long, maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours. And it was neat the way that the city was laid out, in the fact that you could look down the alleyways and see things, or you could look in the windows and stuff was going on. And, there was so much there that you could pick up on that, at first glance you didn't see. So he strategically placed all these characters and stuff in these different positions, like this lady out the window, that you wouldn't pay attention to unless you looked really close. So there's a lot to see in that.
And like I said, he wasn't a wood carver, but I think for any sculpture, this thing's called, to describe it, it's called Magic Town inside his museum. And so these vignettes are set up table height probably, and then the buildings, front of the buildings are probably 4 feet high. So it stands up pretty high. The figures are maybe 8 to 10 inches. And it's just all inner city life, which is really neat. I think any sculptor, I think you got to appreciate, he wasn't a caricature artist or a wood carver, but it's really worthwhile.
Well,
and I thought it's
the other thing that I noticed, Chris, and anybody who's interested in doing scenes, it really helps you kind of visualize how to do a scene and include your characters in that. A lot of people just do single characters. And if you want to advance your carvings into scenery, this is a great place to kind of get ideas and stuff.
Yeah. So I thought it was worth taking a few minutes to talk about here.
Sure.
This is our the grand poobah potentate of the National Caricature Carvers Day, Jim Heiser. And he's probably popped on here because he wants me to talk about the show, quit being a tour guide. But I'm going to get to it, Jim. Just hang on just a minute with me. I promise you we'll talk about the show. So this was, again, Michael Garman's museum. So it's right on the edge of Manitou Springs now. We're getting close to where the show actually happens. And Manitou Springs is right at the base of the mountains. It's a neatest little, one of my very favorite places. Rich Weatherby, my good friend, lived here for many years in Manitou. He's in the Springs now, but this little town is great. Lots to do, lots of shops, tons of restaurants. I don't know, lots of really, this is Miramont Castle you can go through, lots of old architecture. I know, Jim, what about the show? Okay, I'll quit being a tour guide now and tell you about the show, but I just wanted to highlight kind of the area is one of my favorite in the country, and there's a lot to do. If you come with your spouse or somebody you can plan a vacation around, it's going to be a nice trip. If they don't care, if your spouse or significant other cares nothing about wood carving, they're still going to be happy with this trip. So our show happens at the Shriners Building, which was a neat location, a neat hall, plenty of parking, easy to get to. So this was our first, as I said, our first annual show, and we didn't really know what to expect. We didn't know if there would be nobody there or who was going to show up or who didn't. And so Saturday morning when the show, we got it all set up, we were very happily surprised. I mean, the crowd of people to get in was kind of, we were shocked by how many people were there. Now, this is not a picture of the people trying to get in. This is just a picture of a lot of people because we don't have any pictures. It might not have been this many trying to get into the wood carving show, but I'll just say there's a lot of people and we don't have any pictures of it to prove it. So we're good. I'll move on. It was pretty busy Saturday and Sunday, both days. I don't know. My estimates were we had probably 700 people come through in the 2 days. Kind of what by my best guess. So I'll just start talking about, so you can bring your carvings to enter the competition on either Friday afternoon or Saturday morning as the show is starting at 10 o'clock. The judging begins. These guys were our 3 judges last year: Ryan Olson, Bruce Hen, Dwayne Gosnell. They did all the judging, and a couple pictures of Jim Heiser keeping them above board. And here's them dividing all the money people paid to win different categories. Ryan Olson ordering a sandwich, probably. We don't know what he's doing. So anyway, they get locked up into their room with the carvings. They go through each category. They pick the winners. And the show is going, they're done by, they start judging at 10. They're done by noon. So the hall where the show happens, here's a quick video from the stage of the inside of the Shriners Hall. And Blake was right there. Vendors, classes, exhibitors. It was a really, I thought it was a great show, especially for the first year, well attended. Everybody, we had a lot of fun. It's kind of a beautiful old hall, that wooden floors, really neat. So I'll take you through a few things that happened, parts of the show. So the classes, we had 3 classes a day last year, 3 classes on Saturday and 3 classes on Sunday, all with different instructors. We had Bob Travis, Joe Yu, Floyd Radigan, Wayne Larimore, Bob Hershey, and maybe I'm missing one. But they were a lot of fun. They're sold out last year, and the classes are sold out this year. Now we've changed the classes a little bit to give a little more room for vendors and exhibitors. We're down to 2 classes a day this year, Saturday and Sunday, and they've been sold out for quite a while. But that was a real fun part of the weekend. Another part of the weekend was the silent auction that we had. So all active 25 members brought a wood carving to be, and we had some from Emeritus, like Marv Kaiser was a real rare chance to get a chance to see and purchase a Marv Kaiser carving. All the carvers donated 1 carving, and we will be doing this again this year. There will be a carving from everybody that you can get a chance to bid on. It was a silent auction last year. We're changing up the bidding a little bit. I'll tell you about that after I go through kind of the whole thing. We changed up the process of bidding a little bit. It was Carol Levy ran our auction for us. But that was really an interesting part of the 2-day show. Vendors and exhibitors we had. I don't have pictures of all of them, actually. I have some random pictures around. We had Helvey knives, Burke sharpeners. We had a lot of individual wood carvers showing their work. and we had some selling rough outs. More rough outs had their wood there, and Helvey Knives was there. And the show is, in my mind, we're trying to build public attendance to it. And I'll tell you a little bit, when I first started doing long ago, back in the 80s and early 90s, doing wood carving shows, they used to be really good places to go and sell your wood carving too, to help, whether you made a living at it or not. It's a good place to support your hobby and make a little money. And over the years, I think the shows have kind of died down as far as anybody selling, where we're trying to, my goal is to encourage public to come see this show. And so you do have a chance to maybe not only sell your work, but get more people to see it, a chance to get new people coming to be interested in wood carving. You need people who, in my opinion, you need people who maybe never been exposed to wood carving, but they don't even know what it is. So we're trying hard. We're doing advertising this year in newspapers and publicity around Colorado Springs to try to generate the public coming through the show, also not just wood carvers. So hopefully there's a market. If you have any interest in exhibiting your wood carvings, we might, I'm not sure, we might have a couple tables left. But it's a great chance to sell. It's in September. It's good people looking for Christmas gifts early. So I hope if you have any idea that, you'll contact us and try to get a table and really help us make the show interesting for the public that comes through it. Okay.
Hey, Chris, we have Dell Green on. Would he know if we have tables available? Dell, are you?
Yes, he would. He's in charge of that, so he would probably know exactly. He's muted, right? He needs to unmute himself.
I kind of coughed. There we go.
Yeah, we've actually got about 3 tables left available for exhibitors. If somebody wants to bring their carvings in and show them, we'd love to have you.
Okay.
So they should reach out to you, Dale, and get signed up, or they can fill out the form online and send it to you.
Right. Just go to the CCA website and click on Carvin the Rockies, and it'll take you right to and then there'll be a section in there for the vendors and exhibitors. Click on that and you can fill out the form, send it to me.
Okay. Thank you, Dale.
And they're all 8-foot tables too, by the way.
Hey, Chris.
Is there another question or somebody's?
No, I just want to say hi, Chris. This is Rich.
Oh, hey, Rich, how are you doing?
All right.
Looking forward to seeing you back this year.
We'll be there.
Hey, Rich,
Okay.
thanks for the donation on the knife today that we're auctioning off. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Great. It's great to support you guys.
Thank you, Rich.
We'll
Okay.
see you out there, Chris.
All right, thanks, Rich. Tell Holly hi.
I sure will. Bye.
And after I go through this, we'll if there's any questions, I know I'm going kind of maybe fast over parts of it. We'll stop and we'll go have any kind of questions, or you can interrupt me, Blake, anytime if you want to. If there's something I don't say, like, just let me know.
Okay.
Right. So the ayes have it. This was the CCA has kind of committed to a series of books, and we're kind of starting we started at the eyes, and I don't know if we're working our way down the body or around the body. I don't know what we're doing, but we did a book last year called The Eyes Have It, in which I thought it was a great resource. If I could have had one of these when I started carving almost 40 years ago, I would have loved to a chance to see samples of some of the best carvers in the country, their techniques and ways to carve eyes. I I think it's a great resource. And so the book, I know probably a lot of you have seen it, maybe some have purchased it. So the book for this year, and I have a picture of the cover, but it's coming later after we go through this slideshow of the new book, is on noses for this year. And so we had the books for sale last year, t-shirts, merchandise, hats, pins, all kinds of, we have some new types of merchandise this year for sale, CCA stuff. And so we'll be happy to introduce that book. It's a good place to get your book signed too by all the CCA guys are going to be there this year. So also the next thing, I'm going to show you a short video. And there's way too many great carvings on this. We had a special CCA, all the members of CCA brought samples of some of their best work. And I know this video goes way too fast. And these are really a lot of real fabulous carvings. If you want to go back over this and kind of slow it down later and look at it, I would encourage it, because these are some of the best carvers around and really neat examples of their work. We will have this back again this year. It's an exhibit of all the CCA members' carvings, be different carvings this year, but we're doing this again this year. So that's kind of I really enjoyed getting to see everybody's work all in one place like this. We've never had that before, a chance to see everybody's work like that. That was pretty cool. Okay, so that's kind of taking you through the show, and then about that's the setup for the show and what's going on. Then about noon, the guys finished the judging and had picked all the best ones for each category. And all the members of the CCA went back in and chose the top 3 carvings of the show. First best to show, second and third best to show. We voted from the winners of the categories. And it was pretty neat. I thought this was an interesting picture of Randy Landon's judging style. You know, he takes it very seriously. Struck a pose right there. So we all got to pick, and for the first time, the contest has been going on for a long time. I don't know, 20 years or so, I think. And it's the first year that everybody got to come in and see all the carvings that were entered. And there were some fabulous carvings, not just the winners. I was impressed with all of them. And I have a little bit of a slideshow at the end showing just some of the other pieces. Didn't get as much attention because they didn't win, but they're great pieces. Really neat. So the public got to go through and see everybody's work. There was somebody chewing on Ryan because he maybe didn't win or something. I'm not sure. Ryan's hanging his head like something bad's happened. Here's just a couple of pictures, quick pictures of the tables. Again, really neat work. So after that, Ryan comes out, and at this point, I don't know what happened, but Blake proposed to him. I don't know what is. I don't know exactly. I didn't hear all the details of it, but Blake was nice enough to come. I know he told you a little bit. He live streamed last year's show, and we really, really appreciated you, Blake, doing that. It was super nice of you. And he'll be back. Him and Dave will be back. Well, Dave's coming this year, so they'll be out there and live stream again from the show, which was really cool. We're looking forward to it. So, and I caught this interesting picture of my little buddy Rich Weatherby. He was standing up, and he couldn't remember whether he was going to pee or coming back from peeing. So I don't know why that struck me as interesting to add, other than my little buddy. It was a fun week. That's just to show it was a fun weekend we had there. So Ryan on the microphone, he introduces our new Caricature Carvers of America, the new member. When the CCA gets together, we vote on new members when there's openings every year. It's kind of like go into this, it's like choosing a pope. We all go in this little room, stay till, you know, the white smoke comes out, and we either have a member or we don't. Well, we had one new member last year, Bob Thurston. And there's Bob with his smiling face. We were happy to have him added to the group. So the show kind of went, the classes went on in the afternoon, and as the show was over, we broke down the class area, set up tables, and we had catered dinner provided by Rudy's, a local barbecue place. We fed about 150 people that night. And live music was provided by Rich Weatherby and his band. Was really fun weekend, a fun Saturday night. Great food, great music. And after they played for the first little part of it, and then afterwards, Ryan's still on the microphone from the middle of the day. I don't think he ever got off. He's still there, and we introduced the 3 top prize winners of the show. This was Neil Sutherland, third best of show. Great cowboy carving here with Clowns Never Buy Guns from a Rodeo Clown. A lot of details, cool piece, really good, Neil. Second best of show carving, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, but it was a fantastic kind of a fantasy animal. I don't know what you call it, but it was a great piece. And then first best of show was won by Dave Dion last year. Had a super carving, the caricature for lots of different women, ethnicities. It's great. I don't remember the exact title of it. I'm sorry, Dave, if you're on. So we introduced the winners of the competition and kind of wrapped up Saturday. We auctioned off a signed poster by everybody. Sunday morning, we didn't have, we opened back up, a lot of activity, vendors were going, classes started again. And we had on Saturday, our good friend of ours, Kevin Quartz, is a professional caricature artist, one of the best in the country. He's done this professionally for all his life, and he does our logos for us every year. He came in from 10 to 2 on Sunday and was nice enough. He did caricatures of anybody that wanted to, just for tips. It was very neat. And Kevin's coming back again this year on Sunday to do caricatures. Same scenario. And so he asked us, he goes, you know, he wanted to start out easy. So he asked us, who's basically the funniest looking guy in the room? And of course, everybody pointed to Ryan. And so he started out easy with Ryan Olson here. And then went to the second funniest guy and somehow picked Bob Hershey. I don't know how that happened, but we had a lot of fun with him during the day doing his caricatures. Everybody enjoyed it. Silent auction ended on Sunday evening with a flurry of activity, with everybody trying to stand over the piece they wanted and pull the pin so nobody could get to it. But a lot of cool pieces. Then that'll happen again. I'll tell you a little bit about the new format we're going to have. So that basically kind of wrapped up the show for the weekend. But I have some pictures here of some of the carvings that maybe didn't win, but that were really well done, whether from rough out. This is one of my rough outs somebody did. It was a great job. This piece, I loved this little frog somebody carved. They don't maybe get the attention that the winners get, but really neat little, lot of neat carvings, I thought. And this is, like I said, the competition being the first time everybody now gets a chance to go through. You can see everything that won and the pieces that didn't win the big prizes. Pretty neat pieces. Lots of work here from all over the country. We had people from New Jersey to Southern California, all over the country came and entered. I don't remember exactly how many entries, but but it was really very well attended. And it was a great show, a big success. For the first year, I was very happy about it. And yeah, can't wait till 2023 there. So that kind of wraps up my presentation of last year's. Just can't say enough. Again, it's going to be more fun. We've added a lot of stuff for this year. So Blake, I don't know if anybody has any questions about any of that, or I can keep going on and tell you about the new stuff coming for this year.
Yeah, we have one question in the chat, but I'm going to hold it out until you talk about the Ugly Cowboy competition.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to just go on in to talk about some of the new things that we'll be doing this year and kind of what's available for people if they come out.
Okay. So the show this year is September 23rd and 24th, Saturday and Sunday. And September 23rd, I'm proud to say, is the second annual National Caricature Carvers Day. Which, by the way, as a caricature carver, you can be very proud of this national day because the bird carvers don't have one of these days. Fish carvers don't get this day. We're the only group, the National Caricature Wood Carvers, that have our own special day of the year. So that's something to be proud of. You can tell your wife or husband or whoever your spouse is, you're not working, you're carving that day, or you're going to the show because it's the one special day for us of the year. Okay, so adding this year new for on the 22nd, actually, the night before the show starts on Friday night, we have a get together at there's a big brewery restaurant in downtown Colorado Springs called Oscar's Blues. And it's just a place that we don't have any agenda planned or anything, but it's like a meet and greet, get together there. If you want to go hang out with wood carvers, that's the place to go on Friday night. That's from 6 to 9 o'clock on Friday evening. Saturday, again, the show will start. Competition starts and everything just like I described. We have some new categories in the competition. We've added a youth category this year, which is up to 16 years and under. And a carver that's coming to the show, actually, one of the carvers donated the prize money for the youth category, $500 cash prize to the winner of the youth category, which is great. It's a big prize. And we also had a donation of a brand new wood burner. So the winner of the youth category will get $500 cash and a brand new wood burner. So if you know any kids around that carve, this is a good chance for them to get involved and possibly win a prize there. The also added a new category that is going to change every year. I just wanted a fun category for the show, something wild. It is going to be different every year. To give you kind of a special project to work on. And everybody knows I love bird carvers and how much respect I have for bird carvers. And I feel bad they can't be a part of our show. So this year we added a category called Bird Brain, which is bird carvings, but it's all caricature. So it's going to be one category you can enter. It's got to be just a caricature bird. So please, nothing realistic. Don't make my head explode and me see a realistic bird in this carving, in this category. And okay, the other, we've got a big addition this year, a category called the Ugly Cowboy competition. And this one has $1,000 cash prize, and it's open to anybody. It's open to CCA members. All the other categories in the competition of the show is not open to CCA members. This one is open to anybody because it's very egalitarian. It's going to be judged by a group called the Flying W Wranglers. And I'll show you, I'll show you a few pictures in a minute of, as I explain this. We're going, so the rules are this, basically. It's just simply the ugliest cowboy you can carve. There's no other rules. Any size, whatever you want to do. And you know, I thought it's very fair, very egalitarian, because when I first started carving, I carved a lot of ugly ones, not by intention. They were just really bad carvings. I mean, they were ugly. So a guy can win. I think you have a chance to win if it's your first time carving or you've been carving a while. Doesn't matter. It's not going to be these guys are working cowboys. They're entertainers at the ranch we're going to Saturday night. And they're going to be the judges. So they're going to judge it strictly. They're not going to judge it by how well it's carved, how well it's painted. They're going to look for the ugliest one that makes them laugh the most is how it's going to work. So it's fair for everybody. And you have a sponsor, Cavender's Boots City sponsors this category, and it's $1,000 prize, the winner of the category, $1,000 cash. And it's similar to a purchase award in that the winner will become property of the CCA. The carving will become property of the CCA, but you get the cash. So it's a pretty good sized cash prize.
Hey, Chris, we had a question about that, so I want to go ahead and ask you now. Can they use rough outs, and is the CCA thinking outside the rough out available for them to use to do the ugly cowboy competition?
Yeah, doesn't matter. There's no other rules to it besides it just has to be an ugly cowboy.
Gotcha.
But that would include, I suppose, cowgirl too. Doesn't necessarily mean boy. It can be transgender, it can be cisgender, whatever the new. I mean, it's just got to be a Western character, and the ugliest they can make it will work.
Got it.
These guys they're just going to pick. They're not wood carvers. They don't know anything about it. They're going to pick the one that they like the most. That's the ugliest. That's all I'm going to tell them as far as what to pick.
Okay.
So let me show. I will share back. Let me share the screen for a second here, and I will show you. Well, that's not the one I was showing. Okay, Flying W Ranch. So as part of this ugly cowboy competition, when all the cowboys are entered by Saturday, I'm taking them all to the Flying W Ranch, which is it's a chuck wagon dinner show and dinner. They have, if anybody's ever been to one, I can just kind of describe it to you. This ranch used to be a working ranch. It's just right on the outskirts of Colorado Springs in the Red Rocks. They've been doing this meal and show for about 70 years now. Their facilities all burned down probably 11 years ago, and they've rebuilt it. So they have brand new facility now. So it's dinner and a show. You have to buy a ticket for it. But anyone that comes with our group, there's a code. You go on the website and you buy the ticket on our website and you buy the ticket for the dinner. There's a code you put on it. We'll all be seated together. And so these guys that are the entertainers, show you their pictures here. Well, that's the dinner. So these guys that are the entertainers, they not only serve you the dinner, they are the guys that are going to pick the winner of this ugly cowboy contest. So they will, in the middle of the show, they're going to stop and bring the winner on stage and present them with the prize money and tell the crowd who won the competition. So if you want to see all these cool cowboy carvings and see who the winner is, you don't have to be present to win at the dinner, But if you want to see all this and get a chance to go on stage, these guys embarrass you in front of 400 or 500 people, this is your chance to be there. But it's a real cool place. They feed you chuck wagon dinner. It's real cool grounds. It's right up above Colorado Springs. This is kind of the view from their ranch.
And Chris, they have to sign up on the CCA website to be able to attend that, right?
You have to buy a ticket. Now you could buy, you can purchase your ticket directly through Flying W Ranch. We don't add anything on the ticket. When you click on our site, it just sends you right directly to their website.
Okay.
And there's I don't remember the code. I think it's, you can find it on our website. I think it's CCA they put in there. And that knows that they will seat us all together with all the other people that are attending the dinner.
Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, do you have to buy it before we get out there, or can we buy it that evening, or it has to be pre-bought?
No, you can buy it. I think we're gonna have, is this Neil? I
Yeah.
can't tell. It sounds like Neil. Hi, Neil. No, you'll be able to buy it right there.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably better to buy it that day, or maybe
Or
just so they don't sell out, but
Yeah, I guess if you bought it pre there, it'll make sure you get a seat, right?
right,
Okay.
right. We might possibly, I was talking to Dale earlier today, we might possibly have some extra tickets that we sell at the show that day, but if we do have any, it's gonna be a handful. It's not gonna be many. So I would suggest to make sure you get a seat, buy it ahead, just go online and buy it ahead of time.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, sure. So you don't have to be present to win this prize or to enter the competition. If you can have somebody bring your carving, that's fine. But it'd be a fun evening. These guys are great entertainers and be fun chance to get put on the stage and made fun of by everybody and get your prize money right there. So that's kind of the ugly cowboy competition. I'm excited about seeing all these carvings this year. Okay, the other things that are going on, as far as new things at the show, on Saturday we've included some live demos. We're going to have 3 live demos during the day, which are going to be fun. They're going to be an hour long. It's going to be a CCA member just carving, and you'll have a chance just to sit around with them and ask them to whatever questions you might imagine you want to ask. If you want to see them carve an eye, or you want to ask about sharpening or their techniques for hands, whatever it might be, you have a chance just to sit with these guys for an hour a piece and just chat with them about their carving, or they can show you whatever they want to. So that's going on Saturday, 9 to 10, 1 to 2, and 3 to 4 during the day. We'll have an agenda put out for the show too when you come, so you know everything that's going on. And other than that, we're going to have the silent auction again this year. All the active members are bringing wood carving they'll have a chance to bid on. Silent auction is going to happen a little bit different. Instead of, like I said, we had it at 3 o'clock when it closed last year, and people kind of guarding the pins so nobody else could write a bid down right at the end. So we are changing the format. You're going to be able to bid one time on Saturday. You can bid on as many carvings as you want. Bid on all of them, bid on 1, 5, whatever. You're going to get one chance to bid on Saturday, and then Sunday morning, highest bid is going to be put out. Everybody will know what that highest bid is. You're going to get one more chance to bid on Sunday during the day. And then at 3 o'clock, bidding's ended, and the highest bid for each piece is going to get it.
Hey, Chris, do they have to be present to win for the auctions?
But they have to have somebody there, obviously, to bid for them and pick up the carving.
Okay.
We're not going to ship anybody a wood carving, but as long as they have somebody to, bid or pick it up, yeah, gonna have to be present.
Okay.
Gonna have all our merch back this year. We're gonna have a new book. And I think I showed you just, I'll show you just a minute. I'll show you the cover of the new book for this year is the Pick Your Nose and Carve It. So all the this book this year, all the members have gone through and carved a nose and shown kind of step by step their process for doing it. It's going to be another, I think these are great resources for carvers starting out. It's going to cut a lot of time off your carving, being able to just see everybody's different process for doing that. So that we'll have this book for sale. We'll have last year's book for sale also. You'll be able to get it signed by the members that are there. So it's a good opportunity. Get that done. The other vendors that are going to be there, Helvey Knives is coming back. Mountain Wood Carvers is going to have tools there. Nancy Burke is going to be there with Burke Sharpeners, and that was a big hit last year because you can, if you're interested in a Burke Sharpener, the shipping on that thing can get to be a lot. So this is a chance. If you pre-order from Nancy, she'll bring your sharpener and have it there. You can just drive right home with it and save yourself quite a bit. Shipping's getting to be a lot now. And the same thing with more rough outs. They're bringing wood. We'll have all kind of basswood, and they're taking pre-orders on wood. Save you a lot of money. If you need basswood, you can write to Randy, order it ahead of time. Order exactly the sizes you want. He'll have it packaged ready for you and save yourself a lot of money on shipping on wood also. Sunday, Kevin Courts will be back doing caricatures. Our classes this year, we have 2 classes. I told you instead of 3, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday. They've been full for quite a while. Have the live demos going, and it's just going to be an action-packed kind of extravaganza for the weekend. So that's kind of my pitch. I hope so much that you come enjoy this. It was great fun last year, and it's going to be even bigger and better attended this year. It'll be more fun. So
Chris, I'm going to throw in a pitch for us now also. The International Association of Woodcarvers will be there, Dave and myself. We'll have our own table set up. I think we're going to be sharing that with Woodcarving Academy. We're going to have some of these hats, and it's probably going to be a limited number, but we're going to have some hats there with us for sale. So if anybody's been looking for one of these hats, it's kind of on a first come, first serve. So once they're gone, they're gone. But if you're wanting one of these hats, make sure you stop by the booth and say hello to us. Last year, Dave Stetson was gracious enough to help us with the live stream. We're probably going to ask him to do that again. But Dave sat with us at the table. Actually, I kind of moved in on Dave last year and sat at his table. But he had some carvings there, some heads and things that were available. And maybe Dave wants to come on and speak to that. But I know he's been doing some carvings that are maybe available at that table. So again, maybe stop by and see us, and you might be lucky enough to get one of those. I know somebody posted in the chat a few minutes ago how they could get one of Dave's carvings. So that might be a good opportunity to come by and get that while you're there at the show. I did want to tell everybody Dave's holding them up there. Tell us, Dave.
wow.
There
Sorry,
you go.
couldn't unmute. I got 2 jugs full. There's probably 30 or 40 in each jug. And I'm not going to sell them. I'm just going to give them away. I'll probably have a tip jar sitting there if somebody wants to donate, but these are all going to be gone, I hope. I don't want to bring them back home with me.
Well, that's awesome, Dave. It's neat.
So make sure you come by and see us there at our table. Hopefully Dave will be hanging out there with us some and pick up one of those carvings from Dave. That was a fun time last year. We had all kinds of visitors. Of course, we were there in the front of the room at the very corner. So we had people coming by and dropping stuff off. And, all of a sudden we have a whole case full of carvings that people decided they were going to come over and see. And, at a show like this, you never know the people you're going to meet. You never know the people that are going to have carvings there available to sell. So like Chris said, it's a good opportunity to come by and buy some stuff. If you're looking to collect carvings, it's a great opportunity, again, like he said, to get a carving from some of the best carvers in the world, as far as I'm concerned. Just a great opportunity to come out there and meet these guys and get to interact with them and, pick their brain on what they do. And you pick up books and, it's endless as far as the information that you can gather while you're there. So I know last year we flew into to Denver. You don't have to fly directly to Colorado Springs, but they also have an airport in Colorado Springs. So if you're looking to come there, you got two options. You can fly into Denver, or you can fly into Denver and then fly to Colorado Springs from there. We rented a car and drove down from Denver and stopped off at a place that was on my bucket list, which was the Red Rocks Amphitheater. So it's south of Denver on its way to Colorado Springs. Some of the best concerts out there is at Red Rock. So if you get a chance, even if you don't even watch a show, you got to go by and check that out. You've got the Garden of the Gods right there close to the show. You can spend a whole day out there in that park and check that out. It's pretty amazing. So there's just a lot of stuff to do. We're gonna plan on having a couple of extra days just to spend time out there. It would be worth your while to take more time than just the 2 days for the show to check out the area, check out Colorado Springs and the surrounding areas as well. So is there any other questions from the group? Anybody have any questions for Chris or any of the guys from CCA that's in the meeting at this time? If you want to go ahead and unmute. And I'm looking in the chat here.
Chris,
Yes.
this has to do with some of your carving in some of the books you would do. And I did this one. I don't know if it'll show up.
I don't know who, I've got a limited view of who. Okay.
Anyway,
Hi, Daryl.
I would appreciate if sometimes when you put your carvings in for Illustrated, if you could give us a bottom pattern. Because I had a heck of a time with the, well, I got to try to, I had a heck of a time with the bottom part of it. If I had a bottom sketch, it would make it a lot more easier to understand where to put the pictures all together.
Yeah. Good idea. I will definitely remember that.
Thank you.
Try to add that to the, as I go along, I'll try to add that to the go by sheets maybe also.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Daryl.
Hey, Chris, another question in the chat, and it may be premature. Les is wanting to know if they picked the dates for the 2024 show.
Yes. It's not premature. Let me talk for just a second and I will find it here. Talk amongst yourselves there. Okay, 2024, September 21st and 22nd. Don't confuse that with this year's dates.
That's the third weekend, right, Chris?
Believe so. Yeah. Believe so.
Okay, and as we get more information about that, we'll also be talking about that on the meetings that we have coming up, in the future as well. So as soon as we find out more information about what's going to go on in that show, we'll share that. Again, they'll have merchandise. I've got one of their shirts on, pins. They've got koozies, hats. I don't have my hat right now, but make sure you check out the merchandise that they have there at the show. If you've wanted to get some CCA merchandise, make sure you do that. Helby Knives will be there again. They're our biggest sponsor, and go by and see Chris and Holly. Thank them for what they do and pick up a knife there. Somebody asked about hotel recommendations. I don't know right off. I know there's one particular spot that a lot of the CCA guys are staying at, and I think it's full. Chris, do you have any other recommendations as far as hotels?
Not really. Blake, that one is full. I just spoke with the hotel last week. They are completely full, but there's a ton of places around there, from Manitou to Old Colorado City to Colorado Springs, that whole area, depending on your budget, whatever, there's all different price ranges. It's a popular tourist area, so the earlier you make them, the better it is.
And I know we stayed in Denver when we flew in, and then also stayed in Denver the night we flew out. So that's an option as well, as, you know, try to plan out the trip so that you can include other stuff that you want to see. And maybe you don't stay right there in the middle of town the whole time, but
Right.
there's plenty of stuff around to see, and
There's
it's a
plenty
great
of places to stay. There's lots of hotels
for sure.
around.
We'll leave the bid open on the knife just for a few more minutes. Chris, I just want to say thank you for coming on. Thanks to all the guys from CCA that's on here today. It's going to be a great show. Again, it's September 23rd and 24th. I know Dave Levy and I are both excited about getting out there with the International Association of Woodcarvers. Again, we'll broadcast live from there, but don't let that hinder you from coming. Make sure if you can make it out there, come out to the show, check everything out, come by, say hello to us. We look forward to seeing you there. Again, the dates are the 23rd, 24th, Colorado Springs, Carving the Rockies. Go out on the CCA page, the CCA website. All of this information is available out there. I know they've redone the site just a little bit, but if you want to buy tickets to the Saturday night social, that information's out there. If you want to get a table from Del Green, you can get the information from there. You can contact Del directly. The information about the Friday night socials on there. So there's a lot of good information on the website as well. So make sure that you go out and check that out. Looks like we're continuing to take bids in the chat. Marshall, looks like you have your hand raised. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to unmute now and ask them in the group. I'm not sure if that's accident or not. Is there any chance on additional classes for the conference or a possibility of getting on the wait list? Is there a wait list, Chris, for the classes, or once they're full, they're full?
There is a wait list, and we had to cut them to 2 just because of space limitations this year. We added more vendors or more exhibitors, basically, and so we had to cut them for space. There's some thinking about. This is still just in the thinking about part, but adding next year's show, trying to figure out how to add some. The classes that are there we wanted them inexpensive, and they're very short. They're 10 to 12, and then take a break for lunch, and then 1 to 3 each day. So it's 4 hours. So they're good, but they're small projects. You know, they're not really detailed instruction. So we're considering trying to add some real 3-day long classes, like maybe the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after the show, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before the show. So that might possibly be for next year. I don't have any definite information about it yet. We're just considering adding those, looking for where it could be and the possibilities of that. So, but it would be 2024. So for this year, you can go on the, and there are occasionally some people who have dropped out. I don't know how big the wait lists are for each class. If you go on our website, it'll take you to the site that is doing the registration for the classes, and it does give you an opportunity to get on the wait list for each class. So the answer is yes, there is.
Perfect answer. So again, if you're interested, and again, the classes are full, get on the wait list. You never know when people drop out or not able to show up or decide that they're going to do something else. So make sure you try to put your name out there. Neil Sutherland said the Days Inn in Manitou Springs is a great place to stay. Probably still some locations there or some rooms available there. So check that out. I'll go ahead and call the bid on the knife. Tommy Thigpen, if you'll stick around at the end of the meeting, Tommy's picked up that knife. So thank you again, Tommy, for your support. Again, CCA Carving the Rockies coming up Colorado Springs, September 23rd, 24th. Make arrangements to be there. And Chris, again, thank you for coming on. And
My
this
pleasure.
has been
Thank you.
absolutely. This has been the International Association of Woodcarvers, where woodcarvers are helping woodcarvers. Thank you all.